So, thought of leaving a comfortable, very stable, secure job is scary enough. But what if you're laid off? Can you build a real estate portfolio fast enough to not only just survive, but thrive? Let me ask you a couple of questions. A couple of questions that you're going to ask yourself. You may be already pondering these as you're watching this, right? Is if this were to happen to you, will you miss your salary, right? Will you miss your health insurance? Will you miss that cell phone reimbursement, right? Or those other expenses that you get reimbursed on? The answer to that question is no. As a matter of fact, May 1st, 2020 is the day that I was laid off. It is now an anniversary date on my calendar that I'm going to celebrate every freaking year because it is one of the greatest days of my life. Right up there to marrying my beautiful wife and the birth of our three amazing kids. I mean, it's pretty damn close. Quite frankly, I was afraid of how I was actually going to feed my family. Spoiler alert, we survived. And here's what I discovered. Number one, credit card debt is not that scary. No, you're not that scary. Number two, how productive and creative I can actually be once I recouped all that energy and mental power back that I was exhausting on the 9 to 5. And number three, the third thing that I discovered is how to grow my net worth faster without the W-2. So back in 2013, I found Dave Ramsey and I hopped on his baby step train. And for me, what a train wreck that was. But the one thing that I did take away from that, the one thing that really stuck with me for whatever reason was ensuring that we paid off our credit cards every single month, right? But why? I was concerned if I didn't, what it would do to my credit score. But at the end of April 2020, we had zero credit card debt. The only debt we actually had was on our rental properties and my wife's car. And my credit score was in the low 800s. And depending on which bureau you checked on, I still don't understand how these guys can't agree on something, but it was anywhere from 800 to 815, 820, right? But in May of 2021, we now have $24,956 in credit card debt. And my credit score is 755. But before we go any further, let me talk about that for just a minute. Now, my credit score has been hovering in the 790s, right, for the last 12 months, but we're about to close on a 16 unit where the lenders had to do some hard credit pulls, which drew my credit score down to 755, right? I've already seen in the last few weeks that it's gone up. Not really worried about it. But I can tell you that after 7 years of living credit card debt free and going into $24,956 of credit card debt in just 12 months has taken some getting used to, right? It was a little emotional. It did keep me up at nights, but now it's not that bad. I mean, I did initially have those fears. Oh, we're going to go bankrupt. Oh man, we're going to lose our home. And then even worse, we're going to have to move in with the parents. Yeah, I'm paranoid like that. And no, that wasn't a picture of my mom and dad. I don't even think they subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. But if you do, mom and dad, just know this. We all love you. Good to see you last weekend. And make sure you comment below as you hit that thumbs up button. It's over here. Hit the thumbs up button, right? Before I chase that rabbit too far, let's come back to what I wanted to talk about, right? The second thing that I discovered is when you now have all 8 hours of a work day, and let's be transparent here. Most of us don't work 8 hours a day. We may be in the office 8 hours a day, but we're also commuting. We're also bringing the stuff home with us, and we may not even be bringing our laptop or paperwork home with us, but mentally we're thinking about it, and we're sitting there at the dinner table with our family, and we're like thinking about work and not asking how their day went, right? One thing I discovered is when I have 8 hours a day to focus on building cash flow, you can build cash flow a lot faster, right? So in the last 12 months, let me give you a few examples of this. I've become a private lender. We owner financed one of our rentals. I started our own bank on yourself policy. And if you want to know more about what I'm talking about there, basically we're going to become our own bank. So I don't have to deal with banks later in the future, but you can find out more what I'm talking about at w2capitalist.com/bank. By the time this airs, hopefully, one of the other things I've done is I've closed on a 16-unit rental property with some new partners. I also doubled the amount of the members in the W2 Capitalist Mastermind. I established some amazing and blossoming partnerships with the podcast, and I'm in the final stages of publishing my first book, right? We're also converting our primary house to a furnished rental. So think Airbnb or one of those things. Point being, the biggest point here, right, for the discovery of number 2, right, is having the time and mental capacity to expedite this growth would not be possible if I were still spending 8, 10, 12 hours a day focused on that W-2, right? Which leads me to point number 3, or discovery number 3, our net worth and how it still continued to grow, even though I don't have a W-2 and we have more credit card debt today than we've ever had as a married couple, right? Now, obviously, none of what I just talked about would be possible if it weren't for our real estate portfolio. And we started building that portfolio 6 years ago. And I'm a firm believer in what gets measured gets improvement. And I calculate our personal financial statement every quarter. And I'm probably the most shocked, right, when I saw that our net worth has gone up. So building a portfolio relies on finding great deals. And there's a couple of ways you can go about doing that. Number one, you can partner with folks like me. I partner with other folks who are really great at building their network and finding these off-market deals. And then I come in and I analyze them. We put them under contract. But the other part of that arm is I actually also use PropStream. It's one of the best pieces of software on the planet for real estate investors to use, right? And I want you to check out this video right here for a very short tutorial on just how I use it, and also sign up for a free 7-day trial. I'll see you over there.